Namaste, my friend. How are you doing? I appreciate you contemplated and reflected on the liberate model. We will take a step further, but our topic today is how you hammer the delusion. The moment you hammer the delusion, hammer we know that we fix the nail into the wall, but here the hammer represents that I have to contemplate and reflect. I have to think again and again. When? When I'm surrounded by anxiety, duality, conflict, and problems. And I have to hammer that delusion. It is gone, and I experience the calmness and the love within. And then I will start with the text. The name of the text is Hammer the Delusion. That is one. And the second title of the book is To Recognize and Realize the Real Self of the Nature of Unconditional Love. So we will pick up 3 and 4 topics. And the first topic, let us pick up the topic of delusion. Delusion, you can say delusion, you can say impurity, you can say ignorance of the mind. Pay attention. When you are driving, don't you see through your eyes that the highways and the trees are running behind you? Yes, I see it. Is it not your experience? Yes, it is my experience. But is that running highway behind you when you are driving, is it a fact or a delusion? If it is a delusion, which is a fact, it is a delusion, the same like the water in the mirage, it is a delusion, then my anxiety, my stress, my duality, my conflict is also a delusion. This is what the Master has been saying again and again. It is like the dust on the mirror. So that is, so this process, I just discussed. Oh, let me see. I'm driving, highway is running behind me. I see the water in the mirage, but it is not a fact. But at the same time, I experience it. Why I said so? Because many people say that, how do you say that? I experience that. Your experience may not be factual, may not be true, it may be a delusion. Problem, my friend, my dear friend, is that we accept the delusion. We don't want to accept our peace and happiness in the world. That is the biggest challenge, and that is why we are understanding and learning. Take another example, and then we will go to the liberate model again. Wall is there. I see the wall in my room, light in my room. Crazy light. It's not giving the full light. Who say? Is the lamp saying to me or the wall? I don't like this wall. So wall is saying that please say that I don't like. Does any tree or a person or a person comes to you and you say that please react to me? I have to think again and again. I have to reflect again and again. So why I said so? The world outside, weather, time, situation, people, relationship, my mind gets influenced, but I have a choice not to get influenced and dictated by any situation, people, and the thing. Oh, the guy is a stranger. You are not at all concerned. You go to the Walmart to buy the stuff. Say, for example, you want to buy the vegetables. You go to the Walmart. Your mind is focused on the Walmart. There are thousands of articles, items are there. Your mind is not there. So your mind is not dictated and influenced. What I want to say is so simple that can I allow the mind to be influenced by a person, reaction there? Can I allow the mind to be influenced by a situation, an event? I have an anxiety inside. But if I don't allow, I'm not influenced and dictated, then what happens? The mind remains empty. I'm free from the delusion. I'm relaxed and calm. Understand knowledge. Understanding is very important, and that understanding comes from contemplation and reflection. I think again, only listening and learning. I will touch upon that topic also today. So when I reflect on it, contemplate, I recognize that I have an ability. I means we both, and everyone, every human being has an ability not to be influenced, dictated by the outer situation, person, event, and relationship. And if you are not, where comes the anxiety, duality, conflict, stress, and suffering? Highway is running, you are not influenced by it. Why? Because you have recognized in your head that it is a delusion. In our state, we can see the water in the mirage water, but it is not there. We know it. So when I know inside the mirage water continues, I continue to see the mirage. I continue to see the highways running. They are not going to stop. But my mind is clear, my mind is not influenced and dictated, so I'm happy. Are you getting it? So the liberate model helps to hammer the delusion and instantly find that unconditional love. In the beginning, yes, you will see calmness and peace, but gradually you will see it. And that is what in Eastern wisdom is known as the satsang, company of the real. You want to close your eyes or you want to just want to do the practice with eyes open? You can do anyone. Both are okay to me. Asatuma Satgamaya. Pick up only one. Asatuma Satgamaya. So we go to the meaning. It means false to the real. Progress, move, march from the false to the real. So our liberate model The letter L means that I should live in the real self. I'm simply saying you think only in your head that I'm the real self of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. Is it difficult? Because if I start with some foundation, how can I reach anywhere? So I have to fix the goal. Okay, I am the real self of the nature of love, truth, peace, happiness, and wisdom. And what is the statement moving from? So you think in that way. Okay. And now ask yourself, the letter I means that I should investigate. I'm driving the car smoothly, everything is okay. That is your reality. But now I investigate that why I experience the highways running behind me. So that is the false. We know it, but without investigation, we we cannot understand. We understand, oh, highways, mirrors, water, dust in the mirror, but here we do not understand the false. So the investigation false. What is investigation? What appears true is not true. Highway in the mirror is water. Then another thing, that whatever is changing is not true. Did I have anxiety yesterday? No. Today I have it? Yes. Tomorrow I will have it? No. How many times? Millions of times we were in anxiety, reaction, duality, and a conflict. And millions of times they were absent. So I investigate, I letter, I investigate means I think, okay, it is coming and going. So what is coming and going is not me. But why it has come? Because of attachment. So break free from attachment, that is the letter B. So if you are attached to the running highways, would you be able to drive? Tell me. Same thing happens. So that is why after investigation, I recognize I have to break free from this attachment. Oh, I'm attached. That's why I have an anxiety. I'm attached. That is why I have a delusion. I'm attached. That's why I'm reacting. Oh my goodness. That is. So let me not react. How to drop this attachment? How to drop this attachment? How you drop your attachment that this highway is not running? Because the highway is not moving at all. So investigation leads us to the letter B, means in liberate, B. Break free from the attachment. So because I am attached, to a person and that person is related to me, and then he says something nasty and then I react, I get into anxiety. If I'm not attached, I listen to him and I'm calm and relaxed and I'm ready to respond. So attachment means that I-ness, that I thought is there associated with the feeling and emotions, like the highways running. So once you break free from this attachment, what happens? You eliminate, you eradicate the delusion. That is the word E. I have to think constantly. I'm again taking you back to the same example. You are driving your car and highways is running behind you. You are living your life and you meet different situation, people, relations, but you are aware. Where you are aware, I won't allow the mind to be influenced and dictated by any situation outside. Are you getting it? You have to summarize and send me the note. I'll keep, whatever the situation, event, people, and relationship, I say to myself, I will not be influenced. When you are not influenced and dictated by anything, forget about the delusion. In the eradication, you have already removed, eliminated the delusion. You have dropped the attachment uh, by B because you have investigated. What is that investigation? Then, whenever I have those problems, I should start thinking in my head the way you are thinking now. So, what happens? LIVE. What is the result? Delusion is gone. No, no, no. I will not drive the car because highway is running. But now the situation is reversed. No, highway cannot run, cannot move. You have that much of sense and awareness. So you have eradicated the delusion. Mind cannot be influenced. It is the mind being influenced. That's why I have a reaction. No, I'm free. So what happens? You feel relax. You realize there is an inner calmness there and then. It will not take time. View. Serenity is there. But you see that if you ask from where this calmness has come, it has not come from any practice. It has not come from anything outside. It is already within. First time you experience that calmness is within me. Happiness is within me. The joy is within me. Oh, that is an indication you can awaken to your true nature. Why true nature? Because that calmness is independent of anything outside. You are not influenced by anything. So R, after R relax, A comes. I get a glimpse of awakening. And then what happens? Now you are living into that state of the calmness. Calmness is coming from within. And that calmness acts as a deterrence to the outer situation, people, events, and the things. You are not influenced, you are not dictated. By regular, if I can I say practice? No, by regular understanding in different situations, the time comes, what will happen? T. You transcend the limitations caused by the mind because of the delusion. T. And then what happens? E. You embody your true nature. You embody the freedom. You can walk and talk and act in the world. Freedom. Whether you have delusion, whether you have anxiety, whether you have reaction, whether you have anger, whether you have stress, you can follow this. So not only we understood, but we also did the practice. Such a simple example I give you. you look at my beard and you had a past impression that you don't like the beard, I can bet you will react to me. If your mind is dictated by the outer, you are influenced by the outer event, situation, or image because you have that impression in your head. So we continue to have those impressions in the form of impurities of the mind, and that is how we react. We get into anxiety. Highway, I'm reminding you. Every time you have anxiety, you have to remember highway. I want you to awaken. I want you to live your life in awakening. You have promised to yourself that you want to live for 100 years. Can you really live with such an unwanted anxiety, duality, and a conflict? On the other hand, you have everything. You have no issues of shelter, bread, basic necessities, having a car, maintaining your life. And I enter into anxiety. Now we will take up another topic today. You have to understand it clearly that why the teacher is a must. Teacher, we say it's a guru in the Eastern wisdom, so I will explain the guru. Excuse me. So this topic means that why we need a guru with the knowledge. Or you can say that, can we study the Eastern wisdom from the text, from the Google, and can we get rid of it? You need not to study anything. You need not to listen to any podcast. I'm sending you the audio file. You have to keep listening these podcasts. This is also a podcast. Save it in your phone. You already have maybe more than 100 audios. Why I'm not saying that I'm extraordinary, but until you reach to a state, please keep listening until you transform. Once you transform, then you can listen anything. So our topic is why the listening and learning from a teacher is important, is must in Eastern wisdom. Why? Because many reasons we are going to answer. So understand that very clearly by different examples. One thing, listening and learning, you receive a knowledge. Knowledge, and ultimately that is realized, it becomes your experience. We receive knowledge in a different ways. Natural way of knowing. What is natural way of knowing? You don't need to study any text or from any person that we both are becoming older every year or every day. We don't need to acquire the knowledge from the Google or from the text about eating and sleeping and going to the restroom. The process of aging is taking its turn. I experience the emotions, You don't say that, okay, let me study the text, then I will experience the emotions of anxiety, stress, and pleasure. Do you say, these are the natural knowledge, natural way? Well, the nature gives me unwanted experiences of stress, anxiety, and conflict. You have not attended any college or university to receive the knowledge that this is anxiety, this is stress, this we experience that. Natural. Do you agree with me? If you don't agree, write to me. Natural knowledge. Breathing, natural. Oh, I understand. Yes, I'm breathing. Newborns instinctively know. Newborns, when we were newborn, we instinctively knew how to breathe without any instruction. We started crying. Oh, mom, give me food. Feeling hunger. Natural way of learning. Instinctive way of learning. Impulsive way of learning. Experiencing the joy. Children laugh. You see? Children laugh and express happiness without being taught how. We have lost that laugh and happiness in our life. We can say that we are no longer child. The laughing and the happiness are independent of either you are being a child or youth or old. You see? So seeking comfort, people naturally gravitate towards comfort when distressed. We learn to walk. Natural. Most children develop this skill without formal training. Clear? So that is the natural way of knowing. This natural way of knowing does not occur as far as the self-discovery is concerned. Because it is impulsive, it is the instinctive mind, it is the nature which programs. Nature does not teach you, oh, peace and happiness is within you. If it teaches, then there is no need of this guy who is talking to you. I should have been in another profession. Clear? Natural way of knowing. Now then, there is a specialized knowledge that we get from the objective world. I learned that a guy had an extreme headache. He went to the Walgreens. He took the medicine over the counter medicine, and headache was gone. But the next day it appeared again, and then he started Googling. He had some, headache in a something like a triangular or a circular form. And then he continued studying the Google. He collected the information and then he got scared and he was depressed. Why he was depressed? Because he thought, he concluded that he had a brain tumor. Then he has to go to the doctor. He should have gone to the doctor before instead of taking an over-the-counter medicine. But anyhow, the doctor diagnosed, investigated, and said, you have nothing. It is all because of your anxiety. Specialized knowledge. One is the natural knowledge. The second is the specialized knowledge. Oh, you told me last year you got your restroom and the kitchen furnishing, isn't it? Yes, something like that you said to me. So it is totally new. Specialized knowledge. I cannot do it. Repairs, plumber, diagnosis of illnesses, specialized knowledge. I take the help of others, experts. Understood that. Now understand the limitations of a self-study. All the texts are available on the Google. I can give you even the text. I have already given you. So there is a limitation of this self-study. And there is a potential danger also. it may lead to incomplete understanding of the masses. Like I told you, the medical self-diagnosis will cause a lot of problem. Mis- Misinterpreting meditation technique, that will cause a lot of problem. Yesterday, this woman was told me after the meditation session that I was deadly scared. I said, "What happened?" I experienced a total emptiness, and there was no end to that emptiness. But this is a good experience. You have transcended the limitation of the body. And then she calmed down. So there is a limitation. So we can give the misinterpretation of the meditation techniques, misunderstanding of the concepts. When I say the false in the real, what is false? The highway running behind me while I'm driving is false. So what people normally understand, the highway is false. Do you see that? That happens by the self-study. I can bet you. So now what a guru provides, guru in the Eastern wisdom we say, guru means moving from ignorance to wisdom. Guru literally means guru does not mean a human being, but yes, he has to be present to you as a human being to transmit that knowledge, so that with a higher receptivity you listen and learn. But basically, the guru is not an individual. Let us understand, be clear. You have a real self beyond the body and the mind. So the guru represents your real self. Accordingly, he guides. Based on your temperament, he personalizes these principles. Guru does not have any identity of its own. If there is an identity, it is only the knowledge. It's very challenging to understand. But yes, when we continue the practice, we understand. So why the guru is necessary? Nature, knowledge from the nature, the specialized knowledge. But here we are talking of knowledge of the Eastern wisdom. So the teacher provides an insight based on your personal realization, personal state, not a theoretical knowledge. That's why I gave you all the practical examples. A guru who has undergone deep meditative experiences can guide you. It can recognize instantly that why you have an anxiety duality and from where the problem is. So he can tailor the teaching. And when you are constantly listening and learning, contemplating and reflecting, contemplating and reflecting, when your mind tunes with my mind, there is a transmission of energy. There is a transmission of that wisdom. It happens naturally. But we have to reach to that state. Why? How? Follow the liberate model. It will happen. Then you need not to do any practice. While follow the liberate model and ultimately your mind is absorbed into the meditation, your natural practice of meditation will happen. Another reason, it clears your doubt and misconceptions and all that. So listening and learning is a direct transmission of the wisdom, clarification of the doubt, exposure to the higher level of consciousness that is not available by studying the text. And you see, you're studying a text. So it's a passive learning. Yes, it is important in many other cases. So it's a passive learning. Your mind is into anxiety or studying something. Now the anxious mind is studying. But while listening and learning, it becomes an interactive. You have to be aware and alert to listen. It's very important. And I told you that Guru is just a mirror of the real self, just the real self. So we have covered the two topics, liberate model, and then we also understood what are the different ways of receiving the natural way, breathing, eating, etc., etc. And then the specialized knowledge, we pay for that specialized knowledge. But this is different. Knowledge of the Eastern wisdom is again different from the other two, even though it is specialized. How come? It is the knowledge of the real self without entering into the journey of the real self with me. You had a notion that false I is the real I, that ego is the I. If I am stressed, then it is me. Eastern wisdom says stress is different from you. Anxiety is different. It lives in the mind, but you are not the mind. So when this understanding deepens, the life changes. How it will deepen? I told you, regular 10 minutes of the practice that I gave you of the Shanti mantra, and during the day apply the liberate model. In the evening before going to sleep, again do the same practice, but before that you analyze. Simply ask the question, how many times I was into anxiety or stress, how many times I reacted mentally within me, not outside also. And apply the liberate model just for 5 minutes. So you get rid of that anxiety. You have cleaned the mind. Then go to the sleep. But if you don't get the sleep, if you want to listen again, start listening any audio file with any topic, with a focused mind. So I told you, listening and learning, 30 minutes, then I'm simply saying, then contemplation and reflection, then practice and you experience the changes. So you repeat it again, I'm feeling calm and relaxed. I'm feeling calm and relaxed. The way you say I'm feeling anxiety and stressed. How many times you repeat? How many times you repeat that I'm now calm and relaxed by the practice? You see the difference? And that is taking the time. Because I lean towards the delusion. And then the daily analysis. Now the fourth topic, I discussed that, I told you that I'll be covering the 4 topics. Now the fourth topic, I told you before that we are going to take up this text. The name of the text is Recognize and Realize the Real Self, English translation, and Hammer the Delusion, the two-parted. So when you recognize and realize the real self, the delusion is already hammered. But to recognize and realize the real self, I have to follow the process of liberate again and again. How many times? Until your mind instantly recognizes and enters into peace and happiness. So it is known as the Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj. Bhaj, Bhaj. Bhaj also means the devotion, dedication. I'm not going into the religious way of translating. The Bhaj means recognize and realize how, by repetition, I forget that I am the real self. And what is Govindam? For you, understanding of Govindam is my essence within me. What is the essence? Can my eyes work without consciousness? No. Can mind work without consciousness? No. Can intellect work with a consciousness? No. Can I say I exist without consciousness? No. The consciousness is the essence. Or am I the consciousness? That is what we are discovering. Is the consciousness of the nature of peace, happiness, love, and wisdom? Answer is yes. But that is only an information. So I told you, when you hammer the delusion, love is there. How? You recognize and realize the real self, the very process, by liberate model, you enter into. Imagine, just imagine, you're wearing a pair of glasses with a distorted lenses. Everything you see appears distorted. Colors are off. Distances seem all wrong. You stumble around, bump into the things, and feel constantly disoriented. Pay attention. You are wearing a pair of glasses with the distorted lenses, and I feel disoriented. That is what is living with the delusion. It is not caused, it is caused, perceived, misperceived, wrongly perceived by the mind, or you can say, I am dictated, influenced by the outer situation, even people in relationship. Does this example make a sense to you? We want to remove that delusion. So I gave an example, the metaphor that you're wearing a pair of glasses with the distorted lenses. So that distorted lenses is nothing but I have a false notion, a statement, a thought that the highway is running now, I cannot drive. This is what happens. So the weight of the delusion, let us see the weight of the delusion. Why I'm using the weight, delusion exists in the mind, in the form of a thought, feeling, and emotion. Why you're talking of the weight of the delusion? Yes, there is a weight of the thought also, feeling also. In daily lives, delusion manifests in many ways. The stress. I worry constantly about the future, imagining the worst case scenario. But that may never happen. Suffering. I dwell on the past mistakes, replaying them in my mind again and again and feeling guilty. or ashamed, craving for anything. You believe that if you just get that, you see that craving? And then frustration, anxiety. We are carrying the weight of that delusion on our shoulder, means on our head. So the Master says, Bhaj Govindam, recognize and realize your real self. Even I'm simply saying you think in your head that I'm the real self of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. Can't you say that? We're covering the fourth topic today. And once you say it, you have started the liberate model. And this is the tool to hammer the delusion. So two things should go together. Bhaj Govindam, recognize and realize the true nature, hammer the delusion. They both are complementary, or even not complementary, they go together. The moment you start the liberate model, in your head, you started thinking and you are started acting upon your delusion, and you reach to a point, I told you B and R, B and E. Until you reach to E, you recognize it is not there. Why should I be worried? I see the highway is running, but it has nothing to worry about me. It doesn't run. It is just a mirage. It's a delusion. I'm going to say something extraordinary today. In the last part of this session, when you follow the liberate model, or simple, when you follow the liberate model, or you simply start with L and I, the L and I, you are free from the detachment, and freedom from the detachment leads you to the freedom from the delusion. Freedom from the delusion leads to awareness and conscious experience of calmness and peace, and you continue, you are awakened. That is what the. So, what happens in that process? Here in stress, you apply the model and the stress becomes peace. If it becomes peace, you have applied it. No, I'm just saying. Instead of worrying about an imagined future, we learn to be present in the moment. How? By that model. We learn to be present in the moment where the peace always resides. Your suffering turns to acceptance. We understand that the past is gone, and dwelling on it only robs us of the present. We learn from our experiences without being attached to them. Craving becomes a contentment just by following this model. But you have to reach to until the R. We start realizing the lasting happiness. The lasting happiness comes from within, not from external achievement or possessions. Frustration transforms into a flow. Whereas once you reach to the Ra, you find the relaxation and calmness that is independent of anything outside. Same guy is present with whom your mind reacted. Now it is the same mind and the same person. You have a relaxation and calm. Because by this model, you prevented your mind to be dictated by anything outside situation, event, person, relationship. When you remove that delusion, we discover something remarkable, an endless wellspring of the love within us. You'll be amazed at from where this love, pure emotion flows. I'm not talking of attachment. And that pure emotion is not conditioned by anything outside. It is unconditional. You have to summarize, and because summarize means that you have understood. So what happened? I taught with a tag, with a headline, celebrate your life, make your entire life a celebration. What it means? We celebrate an event, we celebrate Christmas, we celebrate our birthday. Pay attention. Be very clear. So before we start preparing ourselves for a birthday celebration, maybe 2 or 3 days before, so those 3 days, the mind is constantly moving in a flow to receive happiness, and in the very process of preparing for a celebration, you feel the happiness. Is it not? Now the day of the birthday has come, the time has come, the people are there, and then you have candle, and then everyone says happy birthday, and you are filled with that sense of happiness. Is it not? And many a times, if everything passes peacefully, we continue to experience the same pleasure after the birthday celebration is gone, maybe for another 1 or 2 days. Is it not? But after that, what happens? We return to the same old, habitual, impulsive, reactive routine. That is the meaning of celebrating an event in your life. What about if your entire life becomes a celebration? How? By liberate model. Your entire life becomes a celebration. Now, in very small things, we are agitated, we enter into anxiety, duality, and a conflict. What will happen when you change and transform your mind, when you hammer the delusion, you will find the joy in simple things. Whatever the activities you're doing, you wake up in the morning, good morning, sun. You don't say bad morning, sun. Resilience. You have a power of resilience in the challenges. Whenever there is there are bound to be challenges. You cannot stop. Say, for example, a pain in the body, maybe because of I did something wrong. Body is constantly changing. So we already have, as we age, there are challenges, but you have a resilience because of the you are awakened to the real self. You have a genuine connections. You connect to everyone, not with attachment. Because if you are connected with attachment, it will definitely result into reaction, anxiety, stress. But now you have a genuine connection, your connection. You move with the love and care. If one doesn't accept, it's okay. If one accepts, that too is okay. In both the cases, you are happy. You're spontaneous. Your life is a playful. That is the power of this journey of the self-discovery. Because there are many ways mind invites this delusion we have to hammer. Many ways of delusion. And that is what we are going to study from the next session. And the master is very ruthless. Master simply in the very first verse, he says, "Are you fool?" I'm not saying. I will just. So in the first line, he says, recognize in real self, recognize and realize the real self, recognize and realize the real self. Then he says, those who are fool, they continue their habitual way, impulsive way. They even recognize it as impulsive nature, still they don't want to change. We'll talk about it. So follow that. First part I covered a liberate model, how to pick up and how to investigate, follow each letter. And if you experience that inner calmness, or you experience the calmness and the joy experienced in you, which is independent of anything outside, wonderful. But during that process, your anxiety, your stress, and duality and a conflict has already gone. Regular practice in the morning, analysis, diagnosis in the evening, and we understood the natural knowledge, or nature's, we specialized knowledge, in the knowledge of the East and West. You study Eastern wisdom to study yourself. Is that clear to you? Every time I come before you, any thought that I pass on, are you aware and alert? and you absorb that knowledge in order to study yourself. And it takes time, but now that it has been many weeks, months, and years, can you follow that? The life will change. Thank you.